Yo, 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 yo. Good morning. Hello. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Friday, January the 28th, 2022. Tootie. Good morning, all. Yo. Ooh, it's a Friday, but it feels like a Monday a little bit. All right. Hey, we got a good morning from Pop's First Sky crew and fam.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's happening? Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Get up, move your body.
Friday, man.
It is Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Feels like a Monday, though, to me right now.
Does it? You got a case of the Mondays?
On a Friday.
Case of the Mondays on a Friday.
Once again, good morning, Friday, January the 28th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, please, when you come on, share the show. Tell a friend.
Invite some peoples on through.
There you go. We want to give a shout out to the 630 crew. Good morning. Figured out how to turn off the hot mic this morning, so
okay.
Hope you guys had a nice mix.
Yeah. Got a good morning from Tamika Johnson. Hey,
good morning to you. What's happening? Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us once again. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee.
In the morning.
Buddi3 Da Gawd. Star Trek Rich. It's going down on this Friday, January 28th.
Squad.
And squad in the house. That's what's going on, man. How you feeling over there, buddy?
I'm good. A little tired, just a little bit, but I'm all right. Feeling good that it's Friday. I don't know. I don't really feel like a Monday, but it don't really feel like a Friday. I'll be honest.
Yeah, something's up with that. I don't know quite what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm not quite. I can't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, we up in this thing. First Sky Omaha, Friday morning edition.
Yep.
Let us know what y'all got planned for your weekend, man. Of course, we will have an extended version of the Haps a little later on.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be good. Hey, Sunita Buddi3 in the house. What's happening?
Hey, I haven't seen that name in a while.
Yeah, how are things going over on your front on the business over there? Let us know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
You always got some cool fundraisers and stuff happening, so let us know.
And if you didn't know, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're live on YouTube now.
That's right. Yep. Let them know. A lot of people
Twitch also.
A lot of people have been thanking us for that. As a matter of fact, sick of YouTube and ready to go over. Sick of Facebook and ready to go over to YouTube now. So
yeah. Are people? Is it still Facebook really, or when do we start calling it Meta officially? When is it officially? Is it?
Mama call it Facebook. Ty Williams gives us a good morning. Good morning, Ty Williams. How's it going? Thanks for the sunshine there. Appreciate you. We're all just chilling right now. Let me see if I got some people chiming in. Yep, we got Beth chiming in. She says, "Are you in this morning?" Yeah.
No, are we not? See, you forgot? Did you not launch it?
Man, it's tripping, dude. It's tripping.
Wow. You getting like a wheel or a ball or something?
No, it's just the broadcaster just has got a mind of its own. Yes, we are on this morning. Thank you, Beth, for letting us know that the radio channel was not playing this morning. So we go from hot mic,
right,
every day,
not Mike,
to not Mike, right?
Oh man! All right, thanks to all the ones out there that are keeping us on our toes, on our P's and Q's.
It's hot mess. I was just giving a shout out to the 630 crew and wanted to know what you thought of the mix and all that since we got the hot mic
fixed. I guess they don't think of the mix. I guess
we went from hot mic
to
not Mike.
Yeah. Sneeda Budai in the chat says things are good and busy. That's good. That's nice to hear. She says only a few spots open for children. We are having a kids resale February 22nd, and all items will be $1 to $3. So okay, if anyone out there got any young ones, any
Reselling kids?
newborns, I was I was thinking that, but we're not gonna go there.
Don't be out there reselling kids now.
Hey, take them.
$1 to $3. Heard that,
man. If you need some items, check them out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah. Anytime you're doing any kind of fundraiser, anything that you got going on, let us know over here. We'll definitely push it and promote it and help that out. I really like the idea of your child care center. The sliding scale is genius.
Some people said fundraiser. Yeah, man, raise some funds.
That's what's up. I got a good morning from Josh Tag. We said good morning, friends. What's happening? Hey. Also, Brother Valentine says good morning. Thank you very much for coming on in. And Mayor Sanchez says he's in the place to be.
In the place to be, because space is the place to be. So yeah, if you're in this space, we welcome you and appreciate you. Brianna Full, thank you. Giving us a good morning. Let the sun shine in. The sun. All right, I'm done.
Turn the music down. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Hey, you got to pay for the rest.
Verse 2. Anyway, I need verse 2. What's up?
No.
We got a good morning, first Sky Omaha family and friends from Stacey Jean. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's very apparent that we need to be definitely shouting out everybody that comes in and reading off the comments, because now we're broadcasting in so many different places. Remember, we are on YouTube now. Go to First Sky Omaha, the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And
subscribe.
If you're a Twitch head, go ahead and go over to Twitch. First Sky Omaha, the Twitch channel is live as well. Yeah. And a lot of people who are doing news, man, love the Twitter sphere.
Yeah, we're live on Twitter too. I don't know. What do you do on Twitch? Do you subscribe? Do you follow? I don't know. Whatever you do on Twitch, make sure check us out.
Yeah, check it out. If you're a gamer over there, I think a lot of people are gamers on that channel over there. But I've seen some things on Twitch that were pretty cool, pretty clear. A lot of live stream events and stuff like that happen over there all the time. So it's just another platform. You know what it is.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it's the gaming community is taking over, man. I mean, once they started giving out school scholarships for gaming, it was a whole nother ball game, man.
Yeah. Yep. We have Brother Sanchez said over at YouTube. That's what's up. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. What's happening? Judy Prinzer in the house says morning. Thank you very much for coming on in.
Hey.
Appreciate you. Mark Manner says good morning. Have to go listen to music, but I'm going to listen to the replay. So curious what is said about Live Nation.
Hey, man, I was just gonna make a joke about that as far as the singing. Like, hey, I'm signed to Live Nation, so you might have to pay for the rest. I might even get in trouble for giving you that little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I'm sad you got to go. I was hoping that you was gonna come on and talk about Live Nation a little bit. So if you get a chance, get a little break in your music listening, drop us a note. We want to talk about it a little bit. Tamika Johnson says, "Oh no, buddy, don't put that song in my head."
I'm sorry. Just let it in. The sunshine, because it ain't outside. I tell you that much.
It sure ain't. It is cold. Very cold. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. What's happening? Rome's Reviews. He's over there at YouTube talking about Here I Am. So this is Mayor Sanchez over there. Is that right? Rome's Reviews. Yeah. And great. Thank you, Tamika Johnson, for coming on in on the YouTube channel. Yeah. This is good, man. I'm loving the fact that we spread out to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So we tweeting, tubing, and twitching.
Man, the triple T's, the triple T threats.
What are we talking about today? We got a lot. We got a little bit going on.
We do got a bit going on. But real quick, how you doing today, man? You all right? You hanging in there?
I'm good. I'm actually we did a little celebrating last night because the Benson Theater hit a couple milestones for funding. So yeah, it is a nonprofit organization, and the capital campaign has just ceased finally. But yeah, it's been a steady climb to raise some funds for that joint. So the fact that they finally did that, it's been a long 10-year journey for Amy Ryan, who's the brainchild behind that. So little couple of milestones. It was good. We got to hang out with some board members and some people that have been integral in making that thing happen and building that thing up. And finally, after all the grind and all the hustle, there was a moment of a little bit of celebration. So congratulations to the Benson Theater,
Yes.
making their capital campaign, and their doors will remain open for at least 2 years while we
Okay.
build
Okay.
up some more money now. So that's what's
Man.
up.
Man, okay. Well,
Yeah.
congrats to the fam. Congrats to the fam. And definitely congrats to all of y'all. You made it. You made it to another morning. You made it to another day. And welcome. You made it to another edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Of course, we're here for the next 2 hours. So, feel free to chime into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard, especially on some of these topics we have. And also, we will be having a guest a little later on. So look out for that. But we kick off today's show talking about this prison situation. Big shout out to friend of First Sky, Paul Feilmann. He posts a lot on the Friends of page. So if you're not on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page on Facebook, the group page, check it out. A lot of information, a lot of conversation happening over there outside of the show. But he's actually prepping us for a hearing that's coming up in regards to the construction of a new prison. Again, they're still on that hunt for a location and some way, somehow, to answer the prayer of a new prison from the governor and his crew. So, yeah. We'll talk about that and also some of the conditions of the current prisons. Big shout out to Nebraska Public Media and NPR. An article that was published last week, actually. Eye-popping overtime, prison employees double salaries, causing burnout and costing state millions. So we're still talking about that overcrowding and that understaffing in the state's prison. So a lot of conversation to be had with that. But it's not just the grown prison, but the juvenile justice system is also in the heat of debate, especially in the Nebraska legislature as the sessions heat back up. Again, state senators Mike Floyd and Jeff Fortenberry are chiming up on the new juvenile justice system and some of the new facilities being built throughout the state. So we'll definitely dive into that. Speaking of facilities being built, again, Mark Manor, please, if you can make it through, we'd love to have you in this conversation. Steelhouse Omaha, a new venue being built downtown, and apparently they have some connections with Live Nation. Is this good? Is this bad?
I don't know, man. Is Omaha a music town in the first place? I mean,
a lot of questions, a lot more questions than answers. So we'll definitely talk about that and more throughout the show. Again, we do have a guest coming in a little later, so look out for that. But it's already 7:15, 8:15 if you're on the East Coast with me, because we do have fans coast to coast. So wherever you are, strap on in. First Sky Omaha, let's go.
Yo. Good morning. Once again, thanks for joining us. This is First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It is January the 28th, 2022, and you are tuned in to a fresh edition, a Friday edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. We got good mornings from Kateri Him and Peto. Good morning to you. We got Assalamu Alaikum brothers from First Sky and First Sky Omaha family from Brother Muhammad.
Alaikum salam.
Appreciate you. We have Rome's Review singing "Ain't No Sunshine Till She's Gone."
All right. See you with me.
Yeah, we singing. We be like Dakeem. We be singing this morning.
Be singing.
It is. Ariel's 402. Rome's Review sent me. That's what's up. Please like, share, and comment. Got Star Trek Rich in the house that is reminding us to do that. I really appreciate it if you share the show if you're on Facebook. And let tell a friend. Let people know what's going down. It's going down today. So that's what's up.
If you're on YouTube, tickle that bell. Go ahead and subscribe and get them notifications going.
Hmm. And once again, just to let you know, if you're on Facebook and you're sick of it, we're on YouTube now as well. You can go to First Sky Omaha, the YouTube channel. Check us out over there, live on Twitch, live on Twitch, live on
Twitter.
what's the other one? Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, we tweeting, tubing, and twitching. That's how we keep track of it around here. That's what we like to say.
There you
Shout out
go.
to Star Trek Rich dropping the link. There you go. See, go ahead, check us out, man. Go ahead, check us out. But anyway,
Appreciate
man,
it.
let's go ahead and get into the get into the news, get this conversation going, and getting the people prepared for some marching orders. Big shout out to brother Paul Feilmann for dropping this into the chat again. Friends of First Sky Omaha, it goes down there. So definitely check that out to stay on top of all the news from the friends and the fam out there. But we'll kick off talking about really the problem before we get to the state's solution, if you call it that. Of course, the problem is ongoing overcrowding and now understaffing, which is not a good mixture of problems to have at the same time. But it looks like our prisons staff, mostly the guards, are feeling it, man. Actually, 17 employees of Nebraska's prison system have apparently more than doubled the size of their paychecks during the past fiscal year, all from overtime. That's how they did it. Again, getting more overtime payments than their actual base salary. That's according to the data the state recently provided to Flatwater Free Press, our partners. So big shout out to them, the crew over there. Some 145 employees also made at least half their base salary, all back in overtime, part of a spiraling overtime cost in the prison system that has actually cost us taxpayers $48 million in the past 3 years. And yes, I say us taxpayers because I'm still getting W-2s from Nebraska, so I'm still paying my taxes.
You too.
Yeah, man, yeah. So the state's highest overtime earner, a corrections caseworker named Donald Hyatt, made nearly double his salary in overtime between July 2020 and June 2021, earning a base pay of $47,000 and actually an additional overtime pay of $97,000. Again, almost double what he made. So man's made close to $100,000 in overtime. And man, and you think again, his base pay is 50,000, so that would have easily paid for two more guards rather than working this one person. Apparently, triple the hours that they're supposed to work. Could have easily put that towards two more guards, which would make the situation a lot more safer. Again, if you got more prisoners and less guards, you can start to do the math.
Well, I thought, didn't we report before though that they were having a hard time hiring new guards, and it was just for the same reason why everybody is having a hard time hiring right now.
Yeah, I mean that is an issue. That is an issue.
Yeah.
Which looking at these numbers, man. I mean, if hours are abundant like this, they they throwing overtime like this. I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know either.
Anyone in the chat?
Well, one thing I do know is that there was that people they were really scared of COVID. That was part of the thing that we reported. They didn't want to be in those kind of closed up situations there while COVID was rampant, so they were having a hard time hiring folks.
Man, that's a good point.
And people that were there just kind of stayed there. Sounds like to me.
And we don't really even know the situation. To that point, we don't know the full picture of the prison system's COVID situation. Like, I haven't heard any reports of any updates or seen any real dashboards of any numbers in regards to the prison system or really the public, to that, in that regard. But yeah, we don't know what's going on with COVID in these prisons. How many inmates actually, have been diagnosed with COVID? How many have actually died? I mean, I see a few reports here and there, but what are the real numbers?
Right. Ariel's 402 in the chat said he should be making that on 97,000 on his base salary.
Man, yeah. I mean, if you think about the amount of work that they and the danger that they face, again, these guards are outnumbered tremendously.
Yeah. I remember reporting last season of a few incidents where there were some guards that got hurt just because they were just overwhelmed. It was kind of a hot mess. Dangerous. And even some that were caught COVID in the prison as well. So, I can imagine. I know that wasn't if I was looking for a job, that would have been kind of low on the list for me during a pandemic to be a prison guard in Nebraska.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Apparently, according to this article, there has been a recent rise in prison staff, though. So it does look like that trend is ticking in the right direction. But Nebraska's most understaffed prisons have still seen little relief in reducing the need for overtime hours. That's according to Scott Frakes, director of Nebraska Department of Correctional Services. In the short term, overtime will cost taxpayers even more, so expect this bleeding to continue. But the recent raises, it costs actually 15% more to pay overtime than does to hire a new employee. So that goes right to my point of, this money would probably be better spent on hiring more guards. But however, these raises that they have put forth in order to try to attract those new guards, which are still actually supercharging overtime pay, boosted that difference by about 55%. So it's actually a double-edged sword. It seems like that they're facing, trying to again incentivize people to be more guards and to bring in more guards by offering again raises and higher paying, but then that costs more on the back end.
there you go. Brianna Full in the chat says they also have problems with the guards selling drugs to the incarcerated people and developing romantic relationships with them. Well, there go your job perks right there. No, I'm just playing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think that's just those kinds of problems are going to come when you just don't have a well working team. You don't have a what I'm saying, everything's off. You don't have enough staff. You don't got enough people. Management can't keep track of everything. Management's probably running double time. So it's a business within a business in there, and I can't imagine being short staffed at a prison. All the stuff going on.
Yeah, and this is again being short staffed in the prison just at regular capacity. We're talking about majority of the state's prisons are close to 200% capacity.
Yeah,
Almost double.
Right, federally recognized overcrowding going on.
Yeah. Michelle Moreno says those guards are not professional.
No, they're not. The federally recognized overcrowding is interesting because we're in our second or almost third year now of that. They're just going to ignore the federal government telling them they better do something about this overcrowding. They're going to wait until they build a new prison.
Yeah, I'm not sure I think it's the third year, to be honest. I think it might be the third year, but yeah. To your point, what is the state solution to all of this? It's to build a new prison,
right?
Which they have still apparently have not found a location for.
Really,
there are still proposals on the table that are being discussed and debated, and apparently there is a session coming up that again friend of First Sky Omaha Paul Feilmann is preparing for and urges everyone to prepare for by actually reading a book. But this again is a post from the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. It says reading in preparation to testify Thursday, February 3rd at 1:30 p.m. in Appropriations Committee hearing for review of prison construction proposal. So again, they're still looking for a location. They have a proposal on the table, and we have the opportunity to speak up. So there you go.
Found no other libraries to shut down, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that part. But yeah, I think there's a couple interesting things with this. One, the fact that they're struggling to find a location for a prison, I think shouldn't be glossed over. There has been a few attempts, a few proposals, and a few mayors that's like, nah, we don't want that. You take that elsewhere. We don't want your prison in our community, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. Brianna Full in the chat says the new prison isn't even going to increase capacity enough to hold all the incarcerated people. They need to pass criminal justice reform to prevent more people from going in than are coming out. For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And good morning to you, Brianna. Thanks for chiming in the chat there. Yeah, you bring a good point. It's really interesting, even with the numbers they're showing right now with these numbers, that even if they build a new prison, it will still be overcrowded. So there's something got to be done,
Right.
and somebody needs to be held accountable. I remember we were talking about it last season. Like, really, there's to be some federal charges that be laid on Ricketts somebody.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Scott Frakes, Ricketts, the state attorney general, somebody, all of them maybe, should be held accountable because it's kind of criminal what's going on, man.
Yeah. And for that to be the case, and then there be no consequences, this it just goes to show you. So.
Yeah, and I just wonder again, they are under a federal overcrowding emergency, and nothing has been done. Like kicking the can down the road for this new prison, and I don't know what's the next step in this proposal process. But again, February 3rd is the next step. And after that, I don't know where it goes or how long this will take. And how long, again, people will have to be packed like sardines in these prisons. How long do they even have with this overcrowding emergency? I'm sure there has to be some kind of timeline attached to this. Or is it just like, hey, get this done and then that's it?
Yeah. All good questions. We'll have to try to get Brother Paul Feilmann on the show one day and as a guest and have him talk about his efforts and all the things that he's doing. No space. There ain't no space in the place in the prison.
Man, like sardines, man, like sardines. And
all
again,
on each other during a pandemic.
If you want to educate yourself a little more on maybe what it's like for some of these prisoners, again, Paul Feilmann is suggesting a book, Halfway Home, by Reuben Jonathan Miller. Yes, Race, Punishment, in the Afterlife of Mass Incarceration, Halfway Home. Again, a book by Reuben Jonathan Miller. A quick write-up on it. It says a pervasive and essential work that will forever change how we look at life after prison in America through Miller's stunning, painful reckoning with our nation's carceral system. Each year, more than 500,000 Americans are released from prison and join a population of 20 million people who live a life with a felony record. Reuben Miller, a chaplain at the Cook County Jail in Chicago and is now a sociologist studying mass incarceration, spent years alongside prisoners, ex-prisoners, their friends, and their families to understand the lifelong burden that even a single arrest can entail. What his work revealed is a simple, if overlooked, truth. Life after incarceration is its own form of prison. So again, even when going into prison and coming out, again, you see people still deal with recidivism and getting back into civilian life and just getting that institutionalized mentality, getting out of that. So prison ain't the answer, man. I guess that's what I'm getting to. Again, with all this trying to build a new prison is more throwing a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It might be a missing limb at this point, not even a gunshot wound. They're trying to, it's worse than a gunshot wound what we're dealing with, especially in colors or communities of quote unquote color.
Yeah. Yeah, hot mess, man. In the chat, Ariel's 402 says if service members can be housed in tents for years, so can the incarcerated. He says it's a lot cheaper and may act as another deterrent. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I mean everybody still needs to be treated humanely, but I think the answer is that there's reform that's needed because there's a lot of people that are in prison that really don't need to be,
right?
And that are just that are taking up space because it's an industry. So all that kind of stuff needs to be revamped and relooked at, and there should be a lot. As a matter of fact, nobody should be in jail for marijuana anymore. With the way
that part,
what's going on with this country.
And quite honestly, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, some of them service members don't need to be in them tents either.
There you go. Very true too. If you're keeping track of time and you believe in the concept, it's coming up on 7:30 right now. And you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We got Chris Bowling from The Reader that's going to be coming on here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. We'll go to a quick break and come on back here and have some more conversations. And we really appreciate everybody chiming in the chat here. And you're on YouTube right now. You're on Facebook. You're on Twitch. We really appreciate it. And tell a friend. Stay tuned. Brianna Full says, yet they're giving Frakes 100,000 raises because he's doing such a good job. Tell it.
Man.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning, baby. heard it's supposed to be warm this weekend out here in Omaha. Up to the 45, 50s. I mean, 50 is still the California winter, but for here it's warm around this time of year. What do you guys got going on this weekend in the chat? Put it in the chat. Let us know what's happening. When you know we're going to have the haps a little later on in the show, so get ready to let us know if you got anything going on. You guys laying low? A lot of me and my family are still laying low because COVID is rampant. Let us know what you guys got going on this weekend. Any online shows or anything you watch? Zoom parties? What's going on these days? How about you, buddy? How you guys doing as far as isolating are concerned? You guys laying low too, or kind of still just going on about the business?
So we try to watch a movie. Like you talk about the Zoom parties. We try to watch like a movie, have like a watch party with my mom.
Yeah.
Did not work out, man. It was probably one of the most frustrating situations. I'll be honest, just getting the tech and trying to figure that out. Is so yeah. Anyone that's having family gatherings over the Zooms and the Google Meets and whatever you're using, more power to you. More power to you. I definitely miss the good old days where you can just sit in the room amongst your family members and have popcorn and pass the bowl around and have human contact.
We need our own bowls now though, because
yeah.
Put your hand on my bowl.
Yeah. Definitely with these kids. But yeah, man. Overall, man, we mostly just go to work and stay at home. Every once in a while, might take the littles to a park or something like that. But
yeah, a little outside stuff. Never heard anything.
Outside, man. Outside. That's my solution. Get outside, get you some fresh air, get off these screens for a little bit.
Yeah. Wanda Lewis cracking me up in the chat. She caught me singing "Ain't No Sunshine Till She's Gone."
Nah.
I'll dedicate it to Mean Gene. That's what I'll do.
Mean Gene.
Stacy McLean Honeycutt says Wings and Things is cooking at the Essential Gathering Place. Is that Wings and Things or is that Wangs and Things?
Wangs and Things. What is the Essential Gathering Place? What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, let us know. Let us know what that is. Because I'm a big fan of my man Smoking Doja, Wangs and Things. Yeah,
it's that seasoning. I don't know what he does. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Like straight from the islands, right near the beach.
Right near the beach.
Brooke gives us a good morning. What's going on, Brooke? She said Stacy said February 6th, 12 to 6. Black Love is Beautiful Business Expo. What? I haven't heard of. I like Black Love. What's going on? Where's the expo at? I need to look into this. That's what's up.
Where is this?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Promote your stuff. Let us know what's going on and where. Got to see what's going on. I might
give all the deets.
Yeah, we need deets on that for sure, especially if Wangs and Things going to be there. What's going on, Zane? Good morning, brother.
The dude. Saw him getting down the other day.
He was getting down to the haps. I saw that.
Yeah, man. Boogie on down, y'all.
That's what's up. I'm glad.
Speaking of Boogie on down, we got that Boogie Jones in the back. Is that
that's Boogie Jones in the back? Boy, sound like he was straight out of 1954, don't he?
Man, it sound like he came from right near the beach.
Hanging out with the Mollies. Stacy said the newest venue centrally located at 5001 North 42nd Street. Man, listen to some things.
Man, I love that. I love that. I'm starting to see like it seems like a new business, a new venue, a new something popping up all the time around Omaha, especially on the north side. It's been a few.
Interesting. Well, we definitely have to go check it out. Thank you for that information there. We will definitely see that. But I got to let's see, Larice, Blackstone, Jimerson, Wangs, and Things. Okay. What you talking about here? Larice, Blackstone.
I don't think that's Smoking Doja Wings and Things. I think that's somebody else Wings and Things.
Okay. We got a Wings and Things out there that's competing against Wings and Things. We got to see what's up. Yeah, Black Coffee Terrace. Terrace Hayes. That's a cousin of mine. Terrace was just doing it over at Black Coffee. He just had COVID and finally got over that and got a clean bill of health and is about to get that back up and rolling. I think he's already got it back up and rolling. So, and that brother be cooking, be throwing down. be throwing down
Yeah,
at
I
Black
got a few
Falcon.
spots to check out when I get back to the O.
Yeah, you most certainly do. In the meantime, if you're keeping track of time, it is 7:36 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. In about 10 minutes, we have a special guest, Chris Bowling from the Reader, coming on. We're going to talk about that. What's that? I'm always forget the name of that article.
Disinvested, man.
Disinvested.
Disinvested.
I want to say disenfranchised for some reason. Disinvested. And I know that a lot of you guys thought that was a pretty interesting set of articles coming. So get
Mm-hmm.
your questions ready for him. In the meantime, let's jump into something else before he gets on, so we can.
Yeah, well, I definitely
get
wanted to
more-
wrap up our conversation on prisons
Yeah,
and talk about the
okay.
juvenile justice situation, because again, there are some legislative hearings coming up that we should be made aware of. Especially, again, shout out to Paul Feilmann for bringing this one to our attention. February 3rd, 2022. Again, this is and the Appropriations Committee hearing for review of prison construction proposal. Again, that's Thursday, February 3rd at 1:30. So it is in the middle of the day. So if if you're at work, I understand. But if you off that day and you can so happen to make it, I definitely urge you to do so, because again, it seems like when many states are talking about defunding, certain police forces and trying to actually reform their prison system. Nebraska is doubling down on its investment on incarceration with this new prison. So again, we have the opportunity to speak up against that, but again, not just incarcerating the adults. It seems like again more juvenile justice centers and areas are being built throughout, especially the Omaha area. But a debate in the Nebraska state legislature is actually heating up on a new juvenile justice bill that was originally sponsored by Senator Patty Pansing Brooks of Lincoln, who's running for the same seat as Senator Mike Floyd. Again, they're both challenging Republican Jeff Fortenberry for his seat representing the first congressional district. And these two, again, Mike Flood and Miss Patty Pansing Brooks, are debating Bill 568, which would actually require truant kids to be sent to a diversion program that actually concentrates on the root cause of their absenteeism, rather than having truancy as a status offense that requires action in juvenile court. So again, truancy, unfortunately, is definitely one of those feeders into the prison, the preschool to prison pipeline. Kids start missing school, and then they start getting suspended, and then they find themselves in juvenile court, and then just kind of slides from there. But the bill actually received bare minimum number of votes needed to advance to the second round of debate just last year, signaling that it needed more work. And Passing Brooks said over the interim that she did work with county attorneys to come up with a compromise that keeps the hammer of the status offense in place, but requires them to first make every effort to send truant kids to diversion. Which, again, big shout out to Brother Leo Lewis, who looked at some of the numbers as far as suspensions and diversion and truancy, and how it relates to race. And overwhelmingly, again, students of color find themselves in those situations where they're truant or dealing with attendance issues and ended up in jail or ended up in trouble. So, um, first of all, what are your thoughts on this bill? Again, LB 568, again, requiring truant kids to go to a diversion program rather than straight to juvenile court.
I mean, on the surface, it sounds like the thing, but it's more processing. I'm kind of skeptical of it a little bit. I'm not really sure how to feel about it. Really, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's more processing. This first thing that comes to my mind is just more places that they got to go through. It's kind of traumatic to go through the system. You adding stairs and steps to the system, then
Mm-hmm.
they can't be good. But at the same time, if you can divert them from going to a juvenile justice center by this measure, then maybe. I don't know. Don't quite know yet. A little new for me. I'll put it to the chat chimers. What do you guys think of this one? This bill. And who'd you say? You said Patty Pansing was behind the bill.
Yep. Patty Pansing
Yeah.
Brooks, again, senator from Lincoln.
Yeah. I get. She's kind of got a pretty good reputation as far as what she gets behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leans a little bit. That means it makes me want to lean in and learn a little bit more and figure that one out. But um, for the most part, it's just I don't know, man. It's when you're dealing with kids and you're not really involved in the family all the way. I don't know. I don't know. It's a little. I mean, I know there's a need there. There's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a need, and there's definitely the problem exists. It's not like we can just wish the problems away. There's a need there, so everybody's just kind of trying to find a band aid for the need, band aid
Right.
solution.
Right. And again, in opposition of it, to go along with you, Flood said the LB 568 is just another example of how juvenile justice has eroded over time, quote unquote. He said he's not organizing a filibuster on the bill. However, he thinks that reasonable people can disagree on changes to the system. And he also says, when are we going to start trusting prosecutors? When are we going to start trusting juries? When are we going to start trusting judges? And with that one, I can. There's definitely some judges that need to get on the body here.
Yeah,
Um,
you threw me off with that last last three
yeah.
questions there.
But I will say that I don't know. As someone who has, been through the juvenile justice system, and been through a diversion program, I think this is a good resource. I think this is a good step. Again, trying to find the root cause of why um, these students, and it's not just the students, it's the families. Trying to figure out
Yeah,
why these families, um, are so distracted, or what's going on with the families, that they can't get the kids, to school on time and just focused on their education.
that's
Um,
right.
I think that'll help. But I think it's very interesting that with this bill that Senator Brooks had to go back and sort of kind of politic a little bit, if you will, with state county attorneys, excuse me, and as she said, to keep the quote unquote hammer of the status offense in place, which again is still showing that the state is not completely gone from its law and order esque
Yeah.
tone.
Very much so. In the chat, in Omar Valentine says it is just flip flop in the process. Is it just flip flop in the process? Needs more community based diversion program opportunities. Yeah. Brianna Fool says, I think it's a good bill and it's supposed to keep kids from going to juvenile and getting them and their families the resources they need, such as housing, financial help, etc. Okay, so it does help the fam. Hey
That's what
fam
I'm
from Amy
thinking.
Helpless, what's going on? Tanai Patterson says never. No, I didn't catch when what we were talking about when you said that. Brianna Fool
Probably the
says,
judges, trusting the judges.
yeah, right. Brianna Fool says, yeah, he says we need to trust judges, yet Flood supports mandatory minimums.
Mm.
Brooks says better than the alternative. Okay. Yeah, I guess if the alternative is to go straight to juvenile justice, straight to juvie, then maybe this might be. Um, Also, Judy Prinzer says, "Do I hear a chat chimer at Buddy's house?" Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Little Mama don't like this subject very much at
Nah,
all.
nah, not at all, not at all.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, like I said, I'm going back and forth because it's kind of new, but it's also a step. It's also a process, another step in the process that they still might end up in juvenile justice center after this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and definitely again, what I just mentioned as far as county prosecutors still, electing to keep the quote unquote hammer of status offenses in place that again will require um, some sort of encounter with the juvenile courts and the juvenile justice system.
Yeah,
So I can't see the county attorneys having compromising for this hammer and not expecting or yeah to use it at some point in time. So yeah, there are going to be some that still end up in jail behind truancy, which is in itself a tragedy. Because again, this shouldn't this problem is a familiar problem. Like this is
yeah,
obviously a resource problem. So I
very much
think
so.
you need more of a resource, kind of solution, kind of like what Brianna says, and getting those families the resources they need as housing, financial help, transportation. You never know why some students aren't making it to school on time, and it's usually one of those situations, a problem with housing, finances, transportation, something like that. So
Right.
sending them to jail isn't the best solution.
No.
But go
Brother
ahead.
Brother Valentine in the chat says, personally, I would like to see a work readiness programs like Job Corps or WIOA Youth Omaha recommended or required as part of their success plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit more action plan part of that for sure.
yeah.
We also got to
And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and to that point, I do think there's levels to it. I mean, I think the first step should be, of course, trying to address the solution and trying to address the family, like see what's going on with the family and why the student isn't making it to school. But if it comes down to, the student has their own car, the family is well to do, and this student just isn't coming to school, then you can get into steps like work programs and things like that. But I don't think that truancy should be like a three strikes and you're out type of situation, or it shouldn't be as strict as it is right now. I do think that all of these things together can kind of be used to address the issue.
But and little mama said she seconded the motion.
Yeah, yes.
We got a good morning, first time family from Precious McKesson. What's going on? Ty Williams says, instead of diversion, what about a mentor program?
I like that.
Yeah, like you said, some of that. Most definitely, there's a lot of solutions, other things that we can do. For sure. But in the meantime, in the between time, we're going to go ahead and get to our guest. It is 7:47 right now. We do have Chris Bowling from the Reader in the house. So let's go ahead and bring him in. It looks like he's got some a little choppy internet going on. How you doing, Chris? Can you hear us?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Check the video off. Is it too choppy?
We can go for it now. Did you get your computer plugged in at all? Were you able to plug into the modem?
No. Well, my modem downstairs and I'm upstairs. I don't have a cable long enough, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, we'll just we'll get through as best we can.
Try to make it happen.
Yeah. On this subject, I just want to make sure that we give some love to the chat real quick. Brother Muhammad says, "Easy to be truant when you're not learning in school. When you do not see yourselves in any subject matter, school does not matter." That's the attitude is very proficient. It's very permeating the culture right now as well too. Tamika Johnson said, "It's tricky. Some diversion programs tend to require youth to have a psychological eval. That's a whole other conversation, though."
Man.
Yeah, very true. Area 402, have a community service hour spent at fire station. Firefighters make great mentors. Good idea.
Okay.
Very much so.
My stepfather was a firefighter.
There you go. So all this stuff that we're talking about too kind of ties into a lot of the things that the Reader are focusing on right now too. So I'm glad you're here, Chris, to talk a little bit about some of the things that you're working on. And yeah, man, what's going on? What's top of mind for you?
I mean,
yeah, we're gonna
pass like couple. I mean, we were gonna come on and yeah, I was gonna come on invested project announcement, so we could talk about that. We have also had the Flora Apartments that got, and so I was doing stories about that podcast happening. So it just crashing together, and it's just it's kind of a crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of people who were very interested in that disinvested article that you or set of articles that you're putting together there. A lot of people chimed up about that, said it'd be a very interesting thing to talk about. How did you guys come up with the idea to do that?
It was basically now with the camera turned off. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming to a little clearer.
Bit of a delay, but
a little bit. Okay, well, we'll just go with it. Yeah. Okay, well, so the idea was always been interesting, but you've ever like had a very clear focus on like, okay, well, here's what we're gonna do, and we're this for like months and months and months. It's like every month we do like a different thing. Mentally of oh, is it working? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't.
We're not really.
We're
not really hearing you well.
Should I just hop off?
Yeah, we're not really. Yeah, you're not really coming through, man. You're coming through super choppy right now. So, yeah, we might have to do something else here. Why don't we hop off, and if you can adjust your situation there, maybe go down where the modem's at, or something like that, then let us know if you can fix that situation. We'd love to hear it. Oh, looks like he's gone already. Okay. Yeah, we'll give him a text, and we'll definitely. Yeah, I mean, he can try that. Try coming on. Yeah, I'll give him a text. Try to come on the phone. We'll see if we can get him back. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We every time we think we got that handled, we go back to the beginning on that one. So we're gonna try to get that fixed and bring him on. Yeah, I'm texting right now. See if he can kind of call in. Yep. We're seeing that audio is pretty bad. So sorry about that. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll move on to another subject and to see if we can try to get him back to talk about that. I really wanted to talk about that disinvested series of articles because it seemed pretty interesting, and everybody kind of seemed to want to talk about it as well. So.
And all of these things are kind of wrapped up in this article. We sort of talked about it on Wednesday, but again, 4 topics that they will be identifying over the course of this project. Not quite sure how long it will be. Definitely like to get into that. But again, housing and community development, education, community justice, and family, community, and health are all of the topics again that they will be covering with this disinvested project. So. Again, there is a write-up on it on thereader.com. Big shout out to our partners at The Reader, not just Chris Bowling, but Miss Leah Cates and Miss Carla Vasquez, and just all of the writers over there, both The Reader and El Perico. Big shout out to Star Trek Rich, dropping a link in the chat. So definitely make sure you go over to thereader.com and look into this disinvested article, a new reporting project from The Reader. Again, there's a pretty good write-up on that. But yeah, looking forward to getting Chris back on and get more details about his thoughts about this and some of the things to expect moving forward. But speaking of moving forward, let's you want to take a quick break? Maybe smell the coffee beans real quick.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's take a quick break. See if we can try make one attempt to try to get him back on, and if not, we'll just move on from there. Thanks for bearing with us through the tech difficulties. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down 5:53 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, got somewhere to be at 8. Got about 6 minutes. 6 minutes in your own. Oh wait, a minute. You got Chris back?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Hey, okay.
You using the phone?
Yeah, I'm on using LTE too. So is it better? Is it worse?
It's very much better. Very much better. Thank you very much.
I tell you, why do you pay almost $70 a month for internet that just sucks? It's so annoying. Pardon my language, but it is really annoying. Anyway.
Yep. Well, we'll get it straight.
So, yeah, where were we at? Do you want me to just start over?
Yeah. We were talking about the article. So just let us know where you guys got these ideas to go into and what led up to the series of articles that you're putting out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the basic thing is that we felt like we were trying to cover everything and we weren't doing as good of a job as we could. I mean, we have a really small staff, as you guys know. And so, for a while there, I was the only reporter. And we have a little bit more help now. And obviously, there's been a lot of partnerships and that sort of stuff, like with you guys and Flatwater. But anyway, it felt like we were doing too much. We weren't really getting as deep as we wanted. So we said, well, hey, there's these issues that seem to be recurring a lot that are pretty... through them, you get to a lot of these other issues people are talking about. So why don't we just say, hey, we're going to cover a few things. We're going to do it for this long and, just try to turn the blinders on to everything else. So, yeah. And I mean, I've always wanted to do more housing work because I just don't think it gets covered enough. And you know, ever since I read Evicted by Matthew Desmond, and that just sort of sent me on a path of like seeing housing as really like the linchpin of like all other issues. So you know, I've done a lot of that already, but now I'm getting the chance of like going a little bit more deeper, being a little bit more intentional, and yeah, just hoping that leads to some better answers and being able to look at, you know, what have we done that's worked, what has not worked, what are solutions other people have tried that we could try, just things like that.
Yeah. Where have you found the most the biggest disparities? I mean, obviously it's probably north side here in Omaha, but what have you found that has proven some of that stuff for you?
Like proven these inequities exist.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really have to. Like, that's one of the points of this first story I'm putting out is you don't really. It's not like these things are hidden at all. Like the city has repeatedly acknowledged that, you know, there are areas of the cities that have, you know, were like more dilapidated substandard housing where less people own homes, where the average median income is lower, where it's harder to get a job. You know, all of those issues. Like we've known that this story that I'm about to release, this will be a week from yesterday, I think. So next Thursday. You know, like the way that we've talked about development since even the 1960s has acknowledged that there is this like deterioration on the east side of the city, primarily in North Omaha. And yeah, I mean, like literally, I found a clip from KETV from 1965 with Lee Terry Sr., so not the congressman, but his dad, when he was a reporter for KETV, talking about urban renewal and like, you know, like going to the Urban League and asking them like, well, what do you think of urban renewal? And the president at the time was like, I think, you know, it's an all right idea, but you got to have you have the government take this on. You can't just let private industry, you can't let it be like patchwork solutions. So anyway, that's a really long answer for your question, but it's just, we continually identify these things every, you know, decade, and they just don't really seem to change that much.
Yeah. It's another thing that hopefully you'll be able to get into at some point, but kind of reminds me of the Douglas County recognition that like racism is a healthcare crisis, and they put out this whole 22-point plan and had this, you know, had all these articles about it and all this fanfare, but then you don't really hear much about it. It kind of fades away, and then, you know, 5-10 years later they put out the same plan.
Yeah. So that's and so to be clear, like housing isn't the only thing we're doing. So that's what I'm really focusing on. I don't know if you guys have had Bridget on before, but we have a reporter named Bridget who is focusing on education. And we have another reporter, Leia, who's kind of focusing on those like family health issues. So I don't know if Miss Erica Felt is in the chat. I can't see the chat right now, but like she talked to her about, you know, childcare stuff. She's been doing lots of stuff about childcare. But you know, there's so many issues. Like we saw this story the other day that Nebraska is one of the top 4 states for denying welfare benefits to people. And so, you know, we're in the company of like Arkansas, Texas, and Mississippi, and like, you know, not throwing any shade, but like that's, you know, usually we're not lumped in there. So it's like, well, what's going on there? So, you know, and like SNAP benefits are obviously an issue. There's so many issues around that. And but to your point about the health thing, yeah, actually we're at a Board of Health meeting the other week, and they announced they hired someone for their health and equity team. And so I guess they're going to really be pushing forward on lots of health and equity initiatives. So we're going to be doing a story with them hopefully soon to figure out sort of what's on their agenda. So yeah, there's things happening, but you just have to have that intentionality of being like, okay, I know the library is like this humongous issue and I really want to do something about it, but I've got to go to this apartment complex and talk with this woman about, you know, what she's dealing with homelessness and all that sort of stuff. So it's very challenging.
Yeah, definitely. So much going on, you can't really cover it all.
Hey, just want to let people know it's now 8:00. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. This is now the second hour. We're on with Chris Bowling from the Reader. We're talking about the Disinvested series of articles that you guys have asked about and chimed up about in the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. Really appreciate that. In the chat, Tamika Johnson says loud and clear. Melvin Muhammad asks education. Tell us more. So maybe you can expound on that a little bit. Stephen Abraham says, when you said urban renewal needs government assistance funding, what would that look like with public involvement? Another question. Also, Inomar Valentine says, all you need is a plan to secure money in Omaha, adapt it to the current buzzwords and trends, and it just keeps flowing. The report card for determining what is successful is very basic.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Rome's review says more money gets spent on studies than actual implements.
Paul, your favorite word.
Have to do a study to do a study. And Miss Erica Feld is on, says good morning. So good morning to you.
Good morning.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Definitely the four, like I say, the how y'all split it up, the 4 areas is definitely a good one. But to Brother Melvin Muhammad's point, can you speak more about the education component? I know you said Bridget is the one that's doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're all basically the same premise, which is, you know, like there are things that we've been complaining about for decades and decades, and you know, why haven't they changed? So like the first story that Bridget, well, one of the things actually you guys were talking about right before I got on was talking about kids landing in juvie because they're, you know, habitually absent from school. And that's a story that I think she's going to be looking into soon, but there's a clear disparity there because there's this program in Douglas County called Goals that is supposed to be for kids who are, you know, habitually absent. You get them in this program, you figure out what's really going on, you get them some help, and hopefully they're not absent anymore. Well, the kids who get referred to it are primarily white and from, you know, Western Omaha schools. And I mean, this is just, I think it's countywide, so it's not just OPS. And then, yeah, you know, your kids of color are going to be more likely to, who are more likely to be absent anyway, are also going to be landing in, you know, those kinds of situations or just not getting their needs addressed. So like that would be an example. We also got this data that, you know, there's been a lot of white flight from OPS schools recently. And, you know, I guess that's troubling from a historical perspective. Like what happens when, you know, like one race of, you know, people is like exiting the school system. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, it's a complicated thing. And so that affects like resources, things like that.
You saying that you saying there's white flight from school as well?
Yeah, no, there is. So I don't have the data in front of me, but that story will be coming out on Thursday too. Over the past 5 years, I won't look for the data set. Basically, over the last 5 years, there's been like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a larger, like white people have been leaving OPS at very large numbers, while, you know, the numbers of people of color are remaining static, essentially. And a lot of that has been exacerbated by COVID, and so it's sort of, I don't know, it's kind of a complicated thing. Like, I guess it's going to highlight, you know, who has the ability to just move around if they want. I mean, are these kids moving to like the suburbs? Are they going to private schools? Like, there's lots of questions, but the basic thing is that, you know, historically white flight has led to, you know, losing resources and that sort of thing. And so when you have issues like that, it sort of puts up your, you know, alert, and you want to like figure out what's going on. But, you know, there's lots of issues. I mean, OPS, everything going on with teachers right now and teacher pay, I mean, that could potentially be a story, but it's really trying to like thread it through the lens of like inequity, and especially like racial inequity. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do there.
That actually brought me to a question that I wanted to get into as far as the title. Disinvested, pretty interesting title. How did you get to that title, and kind of what does it mean to you?
Yeah, well, that was actually Bridget. So I'm not sure. We were sitting in like Zen coffee shop, I think. Very odd. Well, no, never mind. But yeah, it had a weird vibe. But anyway, we were in the coffee shop and we were trying to come up with names. And I honestly cannot remember what the other names were because that one just sort of stuck so well because, well, it reminded me of something that Jakeem Fox had told me. A quote that he had in one of my stories in like July of 2020, I think, where he just talked about like, like we need to invest like in these issues, like, and it's not just a financial investment, it's an investment of like time and energy and all these things. I mean, he said it way more eloquently than I am. And so it really made me think, I mean, your investment, you can change these issues. It just matters whether you're invested. And it's like, an investment is not just money, although money is a really big part of it. Investment is like, okay, are you really connecting with the community? And are you really listening to people? Or are you just saying that you are? Are you invested in trying to change these issues? Or like, as like Paul said, are you invested in habitually studying things over and over and not really changing? Are you and that's the other thing. It's not just like a story about how these things are just bad. I mean, there are so many like community led solutions where people are really invested in their community and they are doing great things, but maybe they're not getting that financial investment, they're not getting the attention they need. So it's highlighting those people too that is also really important. So, and yeah, on the flip side, then the dis in it is what happens when you don't invest. And so yeah, that was kind of I'm glad that it's landing with people because I was like, are people gonna get this? Is it gonna be kind of weird? I don't know.
No, it's very interesting. I actually have the quote from Jakeem here, and then I want to hop into the chat before it got away from us because the people are definitely going crazy right now. But Jakeem says our opposition is investing every resource, monetary, social capital, everything they can, time, to make sure we go back to what they were comfortable with. If we can't match that, we can't win. So I definitely want to put that out there. Yeah, that was very, very
like that.
Jakeem had to put that out there.
Jakeem be singing.
Yeah, man.
North Omaha, North Omaha, in Omaha Valentine says, any interest in comparing this data narratives with the data narratives programs funded to address these issues are provided? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking it makes me think like solutions journalism. Is there how much of a solutions journalism perspective is that to this project? I think that's what Brother Omar is asking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean yeah, completely. That's hopefully the entire focus of it is not just like pointing out issues, but actually like trying to find those solutions that have been working, like I said, and then find the ones that are maybe not working in the way they should.
And I guess, have you, just yes or no, have you found any solutions?
Yeah, well, so the first story I worked on was about development, like really just taking a bird's eye view. And so, yeah, I mean,
well, you don't really have to get into the solution. I was just wondering if you were finding any out there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you just want an answer, then yes. Okay, there are solutions, but whether they're being utilized in the right way is questionable.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, and I just want to remind folks that are listening right now in the chat, especially, solutions journalism is a new term that it was new to me by last year that we learned about. A lot of it has to do with looking at other places in the country to see what their solutions were and see if they can apply to the problems that we have here. So I'm very anxious to read these articles and hear what you guys came up with, since that's the direction of that. As far as these subjects are concerned, and if we found some solutions in other areas that we can apply here, it would be very interesting. I encourage everybody to read that. I encourage everybody to join. Definitely get your reader happening, subscribe, do all that stuff, reader.com, and get into these articles as deeply as you can, because this is the stuff that we've been talking about, and I'm sure that a lot of what we've been what's been written has been influenced by all these conversations we've all been having this whole time. So, Brother Muhammad says education is responsible for the mental and moral development of the members of the society by means of formal instruction in a prescribed manner over a prescribed period of time in a system of learning ranging from preschool through advanced academic levels, etc. Ms. Erica Phelps says, if you live within a mile of the school, you can't get a school bus. This means that that many low-income children are frequently absent because walking to school this morning in 2-degree weather is not something most children will do. With parents at work and unable to transport or enforce the walk, children will be absent. Putting them in the system because of lack of transportation is disgusting.
Man.
Terrence Hayes in the house. What's happening?
Hey.
Says, I find it amazing that many of us have knowledge and been reporting on all these issues of the disparity of North Omaha, but now it is being ran up the flagpole by everyone, black and white, because the reader is writing about it. It's obvious. It is obvious that this is not a passion for them, but a way to gain ratings. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. These are readers, our partners, and so we kind of sit in these editorial meetings, and everybody who's writing is very passionate about what they're writing about, and everybody's really about the solutions, about trying to figure out what can be done about it. So
actually, to that point, there are some other publications out there that we're aware of that are doing some other reporting and having some less mind feeding content, if you will, kind of having that conversation about the candy or the vegetables. There's more. There's a lot more candy out there than what the reader is giving you. So, and they're getting a lot more ratings as a result of it. So I don't think what the reader is doing is definitely all just for ratings. Definitely, you know, like Paul said, from sitting in these editorial meetings and you know, can definitely speak up for. They care.
Terrence Hayes also says, if the reader is genuinely moved to change, interview those of us in the fight. And they have, and they do. And like I said, even some of the chat chimers here have been interviewed for some of these stories. And we're always there to help link people as well. So, you know, they talk to us and they ask us all the time, hey, can we get a hold of this person? Can we talk to that person? Chris, don't touch that phone again before I jump through here and jump.
But sorry, I'm sitting it down and I'm picking it up. Sorry.
We'll set you down, pick you up in a minute. You better hold on.
There'll be some furniture moving.
There'll be some furniture moving around here.
I know. Brother, sorry.
Brother Abraham says the reason for whites leaving OPS in high numbers is because they have options to go to other school districts. Other reasons is because OPS has become less desirable in regards to education, and the only thing that OPS is barely holding on to is its sports. Wow. Von Chapman in the house. What's going on? He got a diatribe going on here too. We'll let you go back and start and read some of these things. We don't want to take up too much time reading all of the very, very long comments here, but I want to thank everybody for writing those. I'm definitely kind of skimming through it right now. I want to read it a little bit later. And that just reminds me, if you're just popping in and popping out of the show today, just remember that you can go back to the Facebook page and rewatch the show in its entirety. And kind of go through the chats as the show goes through as well. Definitely some good comments happening here, and people that are very much into trying to come up with some solutions here. That goes for us, and that goes for everybody who's chiming in the chat too. We appreciate that. So just to wrap up here, it's about 1 minute to 8:15. And we kind of wanted to know a little bit about. I know that you guys are wrapped up in these articles right here, but what's something else that's going on that's top of mind for you? That's got your interest peaked on some things.
Yeah, my big thing right now has been the. Well, have you guys been talking about the Flora Apartments?
We did a little bit. Yeah, we ran the article. We didn't get too deep into the conversation yet, though.
Yeah, so I mean, a big issue with housing.
Now you're on mute because you've been handling that phone like I told you to stop.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you now. We hear you.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Wait.
This man is.
Can you hear me?
Chris, put the phone down, man. Put the phone down. Quit touching stuff.
Oh my
right.
We hear you. We hear. What happened? Wait, where'd he go?
He got frustrated. He got frustrated.
No.
Okay.
Oh my. Okay.
Are we back?
Boy, if you touch that phone, we're gonna be some
I'm
furniture
not
moving
touching
around.
the phone. It's my alarm. Look, if the computer had worked all right, we wouldn't be having these issues.
Oh man.
Okay.
Next time, just come into Weberize. Next time.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna
come
happen.
come on in. Yeah.
Or I might have to go to have a conversation with someone at Cox and get my internet actually working. Okay. Anyway.
Man.
Okay. Okay. Top of mind issue. Okay, so Flora Apartments, they were condemned by the city late last week, and the people had to be vacated this week. And it piqued my interest because code violations are a humongous issue. Code violations are, no surprise, they're really grouped up in East Omaha, specifically North Omaha, and they take a very long time to address. I think I've done the data before, and it's like about an average of a year to address them. And so, these apartments, like I met somebody and I went in and we talked, and, they're really, really bad. I mean, she was paying $700 a month for a really tiny room. Like it was there was like a little bedroom you could barely fit a queen size mattress in, a small living room, a small kitchen, and like a hallway. And she had no heat. There were mice going around as we were talking. There was a giant hole in the ceiling. There was mold. The other apartments had leaky pipes, hanging wires. Like it's just terrible conditions that nobody should have to. Oh God. Wait.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry.
People
texting me. Okay. About this issue actually. So anyway, it's just this is not uncommon for a lot of people to deal with, but I just don't think it gets covered that much, and so unfortunately this is sort of a vantage point into like what is really a problem in a lot of places. And then this woman I talked to, I mean, she just was clearly struggling a lot, and a lot of issues were brought on by this apartment she was living in. Like she got attacked. Her maintenance man was trying to, do a quid pro quo with her. Like, if you I'll fix your bathtub, and her 9-year-old daughter is living there with her sometimes. And it's just, and then, so it was a really, really hard conversation to have and to put out there. And then, I mean, I don't know, I guess I don't know if I want to put out all this business, but, then like last night she's texting me, and she's clearly in a crisis mode because she had been kicked out of the hotel room that she was set up through the nonprofits that worked with them. And she basically had no other options. And so now, I had to jump in and start calling, trying to find her caseworker, trying to actually, weirdly enough, mostly I was just texting sources of mine who are involved with these organizations and being like, hey, I know this is not like a reporting thing, but I really need your help. So I was off and on the phone until about like 9:30 last night. So, I mean, and this is nothing compared with like what caseworkers regularly deal with. But it's just like, I mean, it really is all hands on deck when the reporter who talked to her for 1 hour is an integral part in getting her the help she needs. So It just shows like these issues are very real. It's getting a lot worse. I mean, I talked with someone who works at Match for this last story. Literally, I didn't even interview her about Match, but we ended up talking about, and Match is the metro area continuum care for the homeless, for people who don't know. And there's so many people in eviction court every day that they're trying to help. They're trying to get them their rental assistance. And it's just, and they're running out of money. They don't have enough people. It is a very, very, like, I mean, I know people know that housing is an issue, but, and like, it's, these are always issues. Like people are always going to have trouble with housing, and it's a critical issue. But I mean, when Omaha is 80,000 units short of affordable housing, like I asked this woman I interviewed, her name is Dana. You guys can go and listen to the podcast on thereader.com, like shameless plug. But the obvious question people would have is like, well, hey, this apartment's really bad. You don't like your landlord. You have all these problems. Why don't you just go find somewhere else to live? And the reality is where else are you going to go? Like, you can't really find a place. And like, if you have an eviction on your record, if you just walk out of an apartment, if you are like, let's say you're a woman and you got your ex-boyfriend came over and like beat you up and the cops got called, you didn't do anything wrong, but you have a domestic violence call on your record and you might not be able to rent because of that. So there are so many issues, and I know I'm just kind of like going off right now, but it's because I'm just like so upset about this situation that's happening. And yeah, so that's why I'm hoping that the time we live in, there's a lot more of like an appetite for these sorts of issues. And I mean, with the ARPA funding, I mean, I know you guys have probably had Justin Wayne come on and talk about the North Omaha funds he's trying to secure. But there's lots of opportunities right now for, you know, especially for like these big monetary sums that are coming, that we can really address some of these issues. So
once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime, as they put it.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Bowling from The Reader. Subscribe to The Reader. Go to thereader.com. Check them out.
Yes.
Check out the articles. Check out the podcast they got going over there too. And Chris, you on restriction until you get your thing together over here. You killing my vibe here with you. You making us look bad. We've been trying to train you for a year, and you still over here looking like 2 years ago on your phone now.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you
man, no.
I'll fix it. I'll have to figure out something with Cox or switch over to CenturyLink. But the internet in this town.
Don't be blaming on the internet. That's the computer. That's the fact that you ain't plugged in, like we told you last year. Look, you on restriction until you get your thing together. That's all there is to it.
At least Rome's review gave you a bravo. At least you got one bravo out of the thing, man. So we appreciate you, man. Take difficulties and all. We appreciate the work that you're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Disinvested. Check it out. Look out for it. And with that, we bid you adieu, man.
Appreciate you, man.
See you guys later.
Have a good one, brother.
Have a good one.
Right on.
Hopefully that was equally parts informative and entertaining. Cause
Chris Bowling, man. You know, there's some passionate young people over at The Reader that are very, very, very passionate about social justice and are not scared to talk to anybody and are really seeking answers and asking about who they can talk to and trying to uplift those voices. So definitely go check them out. Reader.com for sure. You got to get into it. You got to go ahead and subscribe. Most of what it is that we're talking about here, some of the deep dive stuff happens over there at The Reader. So check them out. They're going off in the chat.
Yeah. I was trying to hold it together.
Hey, man.
Oh man. And no more Valentine's. Chris, quit touching stuff. Oh man.
Yeah,
Margie says save that for the blooper reel. We definitely will have to.
For real.
Yeah. Star Trek Rich, you gotta get him in.
Well, yeah, he called this morning and said first of all, we need to social distance as much as we can. I mean, COVID is still the thing, but
yeah,
like I said, man,
Mario.
We thought we was having some of this solved last year, so at least last season.
Yeah.
But we'll get him straight, and we'll have some other guests on. As a matter of fact, John Heaston will be on with us next Friday.
The man.
So the man behind The Reader himself. So we'll have him on, and then it'll be a good idea to have Bridget on, who's talking a lot about the education side of the Disinvested series. We'll take a quick break and come right back. 8:24 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you, the chat chimers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. That Augie Kid beat. I forgot about this beat too. Is that called the McCran Crystal variant beat?
Nah, I think he talk about COVID.
I know. I just named it though.
Oh, the McCran.
There it is. It's McCran. Start writing, Augie Kid.
Squad. Yeah, this had me breaking down over here.
Get it, buddy. Get it, buddy. Break it down. Ladies and gentlemen. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We're gonna have to call Buddy be dancing.
Hey,
Buddy be dancing. Jakeem be singing.
Hey, I'm not gonna tell you where, but if you scour the internet enough, there's a handful of videos of me dancing out there. Hey, you scour it. I'm not gonna tell you where, but you scour the internet, you might stumble upon some things.
Well, I'm just mad that we didn't have Facebook and phones and cameras back in the breakdancing days, because you would have never believed I was a head spinner in the whole 9 back in the day.
Yeah,
bro.
you had mentioned that a couple times. I'm gonna have to
feel like it was a totally different person, totally different body and everything from back in them days. I don't even remember that. I don't got the muscle memory no more or nothing.
I can't picture you head spinning, man. I can't. maybe head smoking, but not head spinning. Nah.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man. It's a trip. Space is the place right here on First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning, and we are on season 3. It is time for the Trekkie words of wisdom, as Buddy likes to put it. The Starfleet Daily Meditation today says the ride is going to get a little bumpy. Things are going to happen fast. Just keep alert. Stay calm. Let's focus on what we're doing. That's the famous Geordie LaForge, which is the dude. Geordie LaForge is played by LeVar Burton the Great. So one of my favorite characters in Star Trek, of course. The ride's going to get a little bumpy. Things are going to happen fast. Just keep alert. Stay calm. Let's focus on what we're doing.
Man. Yeah, man. That's good. That's good words. Good. I mean, that interview got a little bumpy, but we had to, stay focused on what we were doing.
Stay focused. Stay calm. Just imagine some furniture moving around a bit.
Man, we definitely appreciate y'all for bearing with us and sticking with us. Just about 30 minutes left in the show. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you. My man Augie Kid in the chat. What's up with you, man?
He said, Buddy be dancing. You gotta say the whole thing like Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah. Also, Miss Erica Felt in the chat. She says, I have mixed feelings about the lack of cell phones. Kind of a blessing. There's no record of my foolishment.
Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know though, man. I do wish there was some video cameras out there in the breakdancing days though. I do wish that was the case. But yeah, some of them clothes, some of them hairdos. Yeah, this generation is in trouble, bro. 40 years from now, this generation is gonna be like shaking their head all the stuff that they recorded.
Actually, I saw you posted the meme on Facebook, and it's quite profound. It said, if you remember, it's a writing on the wall, which in itself is kind of interesting. But it says in 50 years, people are going to want 15 minutes of anonymity rather than 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, it's taken from a famous quote. I can't remember who the famous person that quoted it, but the old quote was, "In the future, everyone will want 15 minutes. Will want their 15 minutes of fame."
Mm-hmm.
And so this is flipped. Now that everybody's a star on their phone, we rather have 15 minutes of anonymity. You know what I'm saying? Like, be anonymous for a minute instead of all out there like that. So
gotta unplug. Miss Erica Felt making an admission. She says that there's one music video out there on YouTube with me. That's enough. Let me find out you somebody's vixen. Let me find out.
Starting the Bay Area or something like that.
Man.
We got to find out what's going on.
Got the ball cap on. Is this from the 90s?
Hey man,
got the overalls and the ball cap.
Brother Muhammad said, "Impulse engines only as we move through the matrix." I like that, bro. Okay. No warp speed here. We just kind of cruising through. Yeah, Andy Warhol. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Andy Warhol said that. Everybody.
Speaking of videos on YouTube, Paul sent me a video. Margie, don't stand up.
Margie, yeah, Margie was doing stand up, bro. I was like proud. That was so dope. Margie's co-owner of Weberize here, part of the Weberize fam, and she was. I think it was on the public TV channel here, the
Public access.
K-Pow. Yeah. And got up and was doing some straight stand-up. I heard that she was doing stand-up. I'd never seen it. So that was very entertaining. I was like, that's what's up.
I am a student of stand-up, like the
Really?
actual structure of, you know what I'm saying, the setup and the punchline and the joke. She seemed like a natural a little bit out there. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy. A friend of mine was telling me about time he tried stand-up and got booed off the stage. So you know, yeah. It's not easy, man, to get on that stage and do stand-up and, you know, stand in front of people and try to make them laugh.
See, I pull a Kramer on somebody, they boo me off stage.
Oh man, no, not the Kramer. Just lost it. Hopefully that's not on video. Hopefully.
Check out look on YouTube for Margie Sturgeon and check out her stand up. As a matter of fact, we'll find the link. It was dope. Yeah. I was impressed. I was very impressed.
No, more power to you, Margie. More power. I get kids said squad.
There
man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, we got more news to dive into before we get out of here. So let's go ahead, keep it moving. But yeah, if you guys got the time, go ahead and check those videos out. Do yourself a favor. Oh man. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into some other news. You know, we're just talking about this disinvested project, and I do want to, you know, enough about what's being disinvested in. Let's actually talk about some things that they actually are investing in. Of course, talking about this streetcar, the announcement that they just made, some of the new developments downtown that's going down.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's a lot to talk about with this. Is not just the library being demolished and making way for this new, you know, futuristic tower that they're smacking in the middle of downtown, but also again, in addition to that announcement, there was this streetcar project that was announced by Mayor Gene Stothard and the crew. This is actually an excerpt from the release from Sarah Baker Hansen, Director of Public and Media Relations, M-Space in Lovegren. It says, today is an exciting day for the future of Omaha. Mayor Gene Stothard's announcement this morning that the city plans to move forward to a new total mobility system, including a streetcar, is the moment that more than 1,200 modern streetcar advocates have been waiting for since the group formed in 2017. The Modern Streetcar Advocates are a group of Omahans interested in supporting accurate, information-based conversations about a streetcar in Omaha. The group aims to show significant support for the project and talked with transportation experts, city planners, and others from Omaha to gather information in hopes that a streetcar project could move forward in the city. So the streetcar project is indeed moving forward in the city, but there's always the question with these types of things of who's going to pay for it. Where does the money come from? And with a lot of these investments and a lot of these developments that's going on, you guessed it, they're looking at TIF for this.
TIF dollars again. That's the thing.
Yeah, more and more TIF dollars for this new streetcar project. And our friend of the show, Senator Justin Wayne, brother Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name. And speaking up, he's saying not this time.
You got a TIF with TIF?
He has a TIF with TIF, man. Apparently, the proposed finance plan for Omaha's streetcar system is drawing more concern from a Nebraska state senator and also superintendent of the Omaha Public Schools. Yes, and Dr. Sister Cheryl Logan is also speaking up about this. State Senator Justin Wayne is also chairman of the Urban Affairs Committee, shared his criticism on the floor on Thursday, just one day after the announcement, expressing frustration with the use of tax increment financing for yet another project. He said that all while he does support Mutual of Omaha moving its headquarters downtown, no idea of declaring downtown as extremely blighted. And a big shout out to Chris again from the Reader, because he put out a lot of information about TIF and where a lot of these TIF projects are located, and an overwhelming amount of them are downtown, the Midtown, downtown, riverfront area. So again, this goes right into why brother Senator Justin Wayne put some respect on his name, is feeling the way he's feeling about this project. Again, no idea of how downtown is being declared extremely blighted.
That's a really good question. When we first started talking about TIF, we were thinking that they were using areas in North Omaha and saying that those blighted areas are the reason why we should get this money to do these things. But through the reader and through Chris and them doing an investigation, we figured out no, they're actually calling like Midtown and Downtown and Blackstone blighted areas.
Yeah, man.
And
Where
getting
all the
TIF
money's
dollars
at.
from it. It's crazy. In the chat, Terrace Haynes says the tower and the streetcar is still part of the further gentrification of North Omaha. They want that streetcar ultimately will go from Dodge to Florence, following the old railroad. They will get it TIF funding because, as usual, they will use North Omaha statistics.
Use our poorness.
Like I said, we kind of found out that they're not even necessarily using North Omaha's land and spaces to call blighted to get that TIF money. They actually are just straight up calling these other areas blighted. So how is downtown blighted? How is Midtown blighted? How is Blackstone blighted? That's the real question. Ms. Erica Felt says, use those TIF funds to create common sense bus transportation so people can get to school and work. The mayor bragged that studies show 3 blocks from any transit route sees economic development. Put that economic development in North and South. For sure. That's a good points. Very good points. So, it is what it is, man. I'm very interested in when I saw that article this morning, I was like, oh, Justin Wayne chimed up about this. So enough is enough with this TIF stuff. Like everybody gets a TIF announcement. This announcement that Sarah Becca Hansen put out here about the rail car. I got a call from a friend of mine, Rachel Jacobson, that works that is part of this project here. She says she will be on next week to answer any questions that anybody has about this, about some of this stuff. So she's putting her feet to the fire here and coming on and doing that thing. So I know that this group will be have some really good questions and be respectful enough to ask them to her, and we'll enjoy having her on so she can kind of break down some of these things. And she wants not afraid to hear it all. If people don't like this idea, she wants to hear all that. So look for that. I think we have her on for next week, right? Next Friday.
Yeah, I have to. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I have to look at the calendar, but she's coming on pretty quickly within the next week. I'm not sure exactly which day, but we do have a chat. Tamika Johnson chimed into the chat. Says it was reported they want 6 streetcars that cost $6 million each. That's just the tip of the iceberg. This project is going to be pretty costly. Apparently, according to this Omaha Road Herald article, the cost of building and launching the streetcar system is estimated at $225 million. And according to Stothert, who says federal guidelines call for an actual 35% contingency in case of unexpected costs, that bumps the whole shebang up to $306 million. $306 million for this project. And the city plans to extend the timeline already existing TIF projects along the streetcar's route from the current 15 to 20 years to further kick the can down the road. And those 5 additional years would generate upwards of $50 million. So not only are they, looking for TIF, but they're looking for an extension in the TIF window. And of course, brother Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on his name, is not having it the least bit. He's not only speaking up, but vowing to actually make fundamental changes to the process of how what they declare an extremely blighted area. Again, TIF has been increasingly popular with a lot of the development projects throughout the city. And again, all of them use some sort of blight designation. And I do want to actually quickly show a map of downtown, and it has a layout of what areas are considered blighted, what areas are potentially blighted, areas are community redevelopment areas, and the city limits. And if you look at this, man, again, everything that's red is blighted downtown right here. This is Capitol, Dunham.
Von Chapman.
The dark red is existing.
Got a little internet trouble there. Von Chapman in the chat says that they're trying to redefine blighted areas just to get TIF funds. Here's the map showing that right now. That's a trip. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, it was kind of slowing down, but yeah. Again, here's the map. You see it. Brother Von Chapman says. Miss Erica Phelps says.
Yeah.
The evidence of being a city is not blight.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. Rome's review says, what circumstances make an area blighted? Are those circumstances in those other areas? Earlier in the chat, More Valentine says, according to many, they strangely try to correlate the low unemployment number to mean that North Omaha is doing better and not in need of this. Interesting. There was something else that was being reported too. Let's see, where was that at? I think I lost it. There were some things that they said that they're looking at areas. They're looking at not just blighted areas. Yeah, what is blighted? That's the question. We did talk about this last season though. The blighted areas do have to do with whether or not there's dilapidated houses or empty lots, economically depressed areas, all kinds of different things that they are trying to say make an area blighted. And yeah,
Yeah, there's a checklist. There's a checklist.
Von Chapman
I will say some of these areas I'm sorry. I'll just say at some point these areas may have, marked off all the checklists, but as developments happen, with like Midtown and developments, it's no longer blighted, but they're still using that old designation to further some of these developments. Also, the designation of surrounding areas like North Omaha for that designation.
Yeah. Von Chapman says the mayor continues to demonstrate malfeasance in office. There needs to be a clear definition of blight. There is. We have to go back and look at that article that we dropped last season about it. I think it actually came from the Reader, but there is a checklist about what's blighted, and you just do not associate downtown, midtown. Blackstone is the one for me. Like when they redid the Blackstone Hotel and all that, that's the most up and coming area in Omaha, and they're trying to act like that area is blighted, and it was got TIF dollars to redo the hotel there and all kinds of stuff.
Don't forget they used TIF for Crossroads. 72nd and Dodge. The redevelopment of Crossroads is using TIF finances.
Well, Crossroads was a little blighted.
72nd and Dodge, though.
Yeah, to me, this is who's coming in there. That's the question to me is what business is about to buy that area up and do something with it. Do they have the money to do this? They're just, what I'm saying? Like that's the thing to me. You got major companies coming in, Kiewit, all kinds of other companies that are coming in, building skyscrapers and doing things in these areas. And in order to save some of the money that they're spending on this, they've gotten in with whoever decides what areas are blighted and change the definition of it and come in there to these areas that now they can call blighted and get their hands on some of them TIF funds. So, like Brother Valentine said, when was the last time that the mayor or someone from her office held a conversation in the community? That's a good question. There's a lack of communication there, but there's also a lack of a want of communication, and I feel like there's a lack of. It doesn't seem so much. It seems like every time I do see her come to the community, she's on the defense. She's defending the things that they've decided already for us. That happened. That's a lot. Von Chapman says North Omaha is the quintessential definition of blighted areas. But nobody's trying to build no skyscrapers in North Omaha.
Right.
So they want to build them where they want to build them. So they got to turn them places into blighted places too. Ms. Erica Phil says there are areas of blight downtown and by Leavenworth, but those projects aren't happening in the actual blighted areas, not even near them, because nobody wants to build they don't really want to build in a blighted area.
Right.
Because that
apartment we were just talking about is right there on Jones. The one that's unlivable, that's in complete disrepair. That's blight. But it's the other side of downtown that they're developing.
Very interesting. 8:45 if you're keeping track of time. 8:45 if you believe in the concept of time. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Get ready for your haps, because we want to know what you guys got going on this weekend, and we're going to have a pretty extensive haps here towards the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Once again, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down. Stay tuned.
We understand very clearly that they've shown by their actions that they, the establishment, intend to play the role that Germans play. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. A little piece on Fred Hampton. I had a long conversation about Fred Hampton last night to a friend that didn't know the whole story. So shout out to people who are very interested in what happened. That young man was 21 years old when he was gunned down by police and by the FBI, and it's all on record. They have already admitted the assassination of Fred Hampton, the chairman in the Black Panther Party back in the day at 21 years old. Powerful man from the age of 17 to 21, made big difference in the world and in Black power and everything else that was going on those days. And he was a messiah figure, and they assassinated him for it. So if you don't know about the situation with Fred Hampton, definitely look into it. It's informed a whole lot of things, including the reason why it was part of the reason why the Black Panther brothers here in Omaha went to jail, Mondo and Ed Poindexter.
Man,
so
man.
Yeah, just read some of that. Ketrin Zeichel, who's a writer here that's I believe is a independent writer. She's been following this story for a long time. I would love to have her on to talk about that.
Yes,
because here it is, January 28th, 2022. Ed Poindexter is still not free. So we still got a lot of work to do around here on a lot of things, and we're gonna highlight some of that right now because those brothers are still here within our space. That brother is still here within our space.
Definitely.
Brother Mondo passed away in jail, and we would love for Ed Poindexter to be able to come on out of jail before he passes away in jail as well. So yeah, you're right, Miss Erica Felt. Yep, I had to hip her to that movie too, Judas and the Black Messiah, the story of Fred Hampton.
Yeah, it's a good
Definitely
one.
Check it out. Yeah, man. Augie Kid in the chat says, I still remember when Paul and I shot the commercial for the Iowa library years ago, and the Iowa mayor told us on the low that Mean Gene was trying to tear the library down even back then, 2016. Forgot about that, man. You're absolutely right.
Wow.
Yeah, forgot about that. Brother Von Chapman says the citizens of North Omaha will be paying taxes for services happening downtown that they can't get in North Omaha via TIF. This is taxation without representation.
Yeah, man.
Straight up.
And won't have real access to at least for another 10 years, according to Manny.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Welcome back. It is 8:50 right now. Got about 10 more minutes into the show. Anything you want to jump into, buddy, before we get to the haps?
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of a hap. I guess a little bit. Still talking about the investment going on downtown and some possible, increasing in haps. To talk about Steelhouse Omaha and its partnership with Live Nation And is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Again, Omaha Performing Arts will be having a new live music venue called Steelhouse Omaha, which is expected to open in mid 2023. The venue is part of the planned expansion of the campus near the Holland Center, and will provide apparently a flexible space that has an audience between 1,500 and 3,000 people. So quite a sizable venue. And Paul, though I know you have some things to say about Live Nation and what their partnership with Live Nation would mean. What do you think? Is this good? Is this bad?
Live Nation has kind of a reputation that that they're kind of a monopoly. They kind of create a monopoly when they're with their system. So if you're Live Nation, then you're a promoter. You got these huge artists, and you're connected with these huge venues all around the country, and then you make those artists go to those venues. And if they go to venues outside of Live Nation venues, then they'll get dropped. And you can't really afford to get dropped as an artist, because Live Nation is where all the big, huge shows are and all the big, huge artists are. So that kill, what it does is kind of kill a local economy. It kills places like the Slowdown, when the Slowdown was Slowdown brought out Kamasi Washington, which is a major artist. He may, if Live Nation is in town, he's hooked up with Live Nation, he might not ever get to play anywhere but this Steelhouse place that's there. So and then there's a lot of other rumors too about what kind of business they do. I know Mark Manor in the chat said there's a rumor that they kind of scalp their own tickets, buy their own tickets back and sell them for a higher price, and all kinds of shady business. So everybody who I've ever talked to in the music scene that knew about this place were all kind of they all had some stories. You know what I mean? They all kind of was like, yeah, we don't know about this. So what my question though has to do with, so this place is going to be right around where the Holland's at, I believe.
Yep. It's a part of the campus.
It's part of the campus. Right across the street from that is what they're doing with the new Jean Leahy Mall now, which is going to be an amphitheater there that's going to hold 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 people for shows. An amphitheater right across the street. So you got the Holland, you got this new Steelhouse Omaha, you have the amphitheater across the street, and I want to know like who, and then you got CenturyLink Center that's kind of down the way. These are some huge music venues for a town that doesn't really do much for music.
It's a good point.
So who's going to be here? Who's the 5,000 people that's going to go to the amphitheater and see something? What are they going to see? I can imagine. I don't know.
It's a country fest. They're going to have a whole country fest.
A lot of country music is coming. I'm quite sure. A lot of country. I was upset. I dig the architecture of this place. I think it'll look cool, be cool. But then when I said, but they're hooked up with Live Nation, I don't. Okay, what does that mean? That means the Bruno Marses will be here and stuff like that. The people that probably play at the Omaha at the CenturyLink Center. They'll have some other options here, but it'll be really, really big shows like that. So I don't know, man. It seems weird to me that this if you build it, they will come thing that goes on out here. It's nobody is supporting music and the arts in here very, very strongly in Omaha, but yet they're building these huge structures for artists to come out, for music to happen here. What are they trying to do?
That's a good point. And I'm looking at the website, and they have a point for the facts and figures for Steelhouse. It says activates significant community investments, riverfront revitalization, capital district, and builders district. I'm not quite sure what the builders district is, but I know
that's here.
That's what they're calling the new Jean Leahy Mall, is the builders district.
No, they're calling the builders district is here, is right here where the Mastercraft building is.
Oh, the Nodo area.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So yeah. That again. Also, I did not know that, but also the riverfront revitalization, the ConAgra area. So this is really just the beginning. Like there's apparently more development going to happen in the builders district, because there's a lot of dilapidated buildings and land kind of in that area around the Mastercraft building. Like literally right behind it or next to the Mastercraft building. It's a lot of land just sitting there. And then also the riverfront, that whole Conagra campus is going to eventually be redeveloped. So to your point, there's even more development and housing going to be put in there. But how, where are the people going to come from?
And how they going to get there? We're going to have the same old raggedy streets. They ain't going to do nothing. Same old raggedy parking places. That they ain't not going to do nothing about the infrastructure on how to get to any of these places. We're just going to be backed up with thousands of people trying to go see Garth Brooks. That's what's going to be. That's what it's going to be here in Omaha. So there you go. Brianna Full says, not a country music festival. Hey, do you know any other artists that's going to bring out thousands of people in Omaha, Nebraska?
Well, they're going to have a jazz fest? What? Come on.
They were supposed to. They were supposed to be trying to have a jazz fest in the Capital District, but who's listening to jazz in Omaha, Nebraska like that?
Come on, man.
What's going on with the Jewel? The Jewel is having a hard time. Well, the Jewel's not a jazz club anymore. It's just not.
All right.
You know what I mean? Brother Muhammad said, don't worry. They will not be around to enjoy what they are building for us. Okay. There you go. Wanda Lewis says they'll be hosting Native Omaha Day there.
Man, if I live to see the day.
That's what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, Native Omaha Days. It's going to be at the Steelhouse, Omaha.
The Steelhouse. Big waiting on Angelie at the Steelhouse. I'm with it.
Angelie and Timeless at the Steelhouse.
I'm with it.
Omaha, Nebraska is going down.
Light pole.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the show. We only got about 3 minutes left, and we said we were going to have an extensive haps, and it didn't happen. It's just what happens. So, anything that you need to lay on them before we get out of here, buddy?
Well, definitely reminding
Von Chapman said, "Kid Rock."
Kid Rock. It comes back around.
He is coming too. He's coming here too, for real.
Yep. But yes. Again, tomorrow is going down. So if you're able to tune in, please do so. This will be happening virtually, the 15th annual State of North Omaha Summit. Again, there will be several heads in attendance. Brother Senator Justin Wayne put some respect on his name. Brother Senator Terrell McKinney put some respect on his name. County Commissioner Chris Rogers, City Councilwoman Juanita Johnson. Mean Gene will even be there, y'all. Mean Gene.
And Chad Stoner will be hosting.
Chad Stoner's hosting? What?
What? Wanda Lewis in the chat clowning.
You threw me for a loop. You threw like Chad Stoner is hosting the annual State of North Omaha. Hold up. I missed that one.
Might as well.
Oh man. Anyway. So yeah, if you'd like to know what's going on in the community, definitely tap in with that. There's gonna be several organizations in attendance: Urban League, Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, 100 Black Men. I mean, that's just a few. So yeah, definitely check that out. Other than that, man, I don't really have too much more.
Yep. We'll have to get back on it. Go check out Friends of First Sky Omaha. If anything comes up, we'll definitely post it there. And you guys got any haps that you think we need to be looking at too? Go ahead and post it on Friends of First Sky Omaha. If you're not a member, become a member of Friends of First Sky Omaha, and also become a member of First Sky Omaha, the show, as well, by going to First Sky Omaha and hit the donate button. And come on through. Get there. We really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get out of here, buddy. You got anything to say to the people?
Man, as always, through the technical difficulties, the shenanigans and everything, man, y'all always there with us, locking step. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for rolling with us and the support that you give us, man. We can't say, thank you enough. So if you're interested in becoming a member or sponsor of the show, check us out. firstskyOmaha.com/donate. Again, that's firstskyOmaha.com/donate. And again, tell a friend to tell a friend. We everywhere now, y'all. We tweeting, we tubing, and we twitching. So check us out. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you are. We'll try to meet you there. So again, tell a friend. Until next time, catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Sky Omaha. Paul B, take it away.
Yo. Rome's Review says, thank you, First Sky Omaha and chat chimers. I got my mind right. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Appreciate you very much. Peace. Pop says, great show as always. Have an awesome weekend and see you all on Monday, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Hey, okay.
Miss Erica Fell said this was a valuable use of my morning. Thank you. Keep your space and drink water. Be safe and be good to yourself. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Tamika Johnson. Wanda Lewis says twerk. Get it in. Do what you got to do.
All
Brother
right.
Muhammad says, put your donation on auto pay monthly. Thank you, Brother Muhammad. That's right. Become a recurring member, a sponsor of the show. Thank you very much for that. Beth David Wilson says, great show. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Be cool in the space. I want to give a thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Shout out to the Weberized crew, Stand Up, Margie, and the Star Trek Rich. The fam, really appreciate it. If you got podcast ideas, definitely check out Weberized.com. They're the experts. And I want to also give a shout out to the reader. Thanks to Chris Bowling for coming on today. And shout out to the reader who's trying to do the good work and do better each time that they put something out, and really listening, really trying to battle that social justice. So shout out to them. And shout out to all you, the chat chimers, and everybody who has become a member and a sponsor of the station. Really appreciate it. If you haven't done so, please consider doing so. Go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the donate button so we can keep these conversations rolling and going. And again, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend, and take care of yourselves. And go ahead and get out of here. Peace.
Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.